right, man. So hey, welcome to Silicon Valley.
Thank you very much.
I mean, so you worked at an Apple store. This is kind of like a second home for you, right?
Yeah, I'm coming home, Steve.
So what was that? I mean, when and where was that you worked at an Apple store?
It was right before I moved to New York. Actually, I was trying to keep the songwriting thing going, but I wasn't making any money from it. So I got a job. I was always pretty handy at computers. So
right.
I moved to London and I got a job at Apple, and I was there for a couple of years.
Right. Okay. So now, like, would you say like new technology has kind of shaped your career? Like, would you say that you were discovered on YouTube?
I would say that's where it started.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was necessarily discovered there, but it definitely helped me in the beginning with building a good online fan base, and then I was able to go on tour, and there'd be people that would come to the shows from just seeing my YouTube videos. So
right.
That was kind of the beginning for it. For
right.
Sure, yeah.
Now, the Kickstarter campaign for your first album. Tell me about that whole experience.
Well, that was one of those. I did utilize my social networks actually in that period. I was broke and I needed to, raise money to make an album, and I had no idea how I was going to do it. So I had these friends; they were making these Kickstarter campaigns, and at first I was like, God, is this something I should do? I don't feel good about asking my fans for money, but then I did, and it really worked out. It was really, at first it kind of showed me that my fans really believed in what I was doing, and it also enabled me to make my album. So it was a huge opportunity, and it was like the starting point of my career, really.
Right. Now, your song "The Lost Boys," that was a huge deal on Sons of Anarchy. Now, did you watch the episode?
I didn't.
Have you seen any episodes?
I have not.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so now when you're walking around, or like when inspiration hits you and a lyric comes in your mind, now what's the first thing you do at that moment?
Thank God I have a phone.
Okay.
Because I usually write notes on my phone.
Sure.
And I think that the inspiration for me comes very sporadically, and it doesn't come very often. So it's a slow process for me. I'm not one of those people that can write over and over and over and all day long, So for me, it often comes at strange times in my life, or in my just day-to-day life. And I definitely use, I kind of I have no idea.
Is it like whiskey involved at all?
It's always so different. You see, I used to have a process where I would go to a bar, I'd get drunk by myself, and I would write songs.
Right.
But it doesn't really work.
So
like
wait, right there at the bar?
Yeah. My whole album, last album, I Don't Believe You, I wrote probably on the corner of a bar, the whole thing. But this is my new album, Chase the Sun, which is coming out in April. That was written a lot by me and my friends. I got together with some friends because I needed to kind of be pushed a little bit more.
Right.
So that it was a different process making this album.
Is there ever like an ideal environment where you're sitting down writing a song, or is it just like, okay, now's the time, I'm gonna do it?
I wish it was. I wish I could just sit down and be like, now's the time.
That's it.
Now I'm gonna write a song. But it's not like that. It's always different. It's always a new experience. So I wish I could say that I have this method that worked. Right. I probably would write a lot more songs.
Right. Now, so like a singer-songwriter like yourself, is there a particular artist or an album that you can say changed your life?
I was really heavily influenced by the kind of artists that really, they were more interested in social commentary than they were about singing typical love songs. I was always kind of drawn to the idea of saying something rebellious or something that just felt a little bit more important, So people like Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, they were huge influences.
Right.
And I'd say that my new album is kind of influenced a lot by more of that.
So is it political at all?
I wouldn't say political, no. I would never say that, but it's definitely things that I consider to be important, and I've always felt really good about trying to make people think a little bit about something different. Try and inspire people and make people feel really good when they listen to music. So for this album, I definitely felt that was like an important topic.
Right. So what's the rest of 2015 look like for you?
Touring.
Yeah? Where are you off to next?
I am off on tour with a band called Delta Ray.
Okay.
On the East Coast and the Midwest in April, and then in June I'm going out with Ingrid Michaelson, who's a good friend of mine on the West Coast.
Right.
We're going to shoot all the way up the West Coast.
Now, have you been to the Midwest before?
I have. Yeah.
Is there anything that scares you about America?
Nothing scares me about America. No, it's amazing how different it is throughout the country. It's like you're not really touring through one country. You feel like you're going through a continent.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting how different the states are. But I love every part of it. It's just a different experience.
Now, so is there anything else you want our listeners to know about you, Greg Holden?
That I have a new album coming out on April 14th called Chase the Sun. My new single's out, it's called Hold On Tight.
Right.
And I'm going to be touring a lot this year, so please look out.
Where can they find you online?
GregHoldenOnline.com.
Awesome, Greg. Thank you so much.
Thanks for talking.
Great.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, man.